So let's imagine that you have mastered now, well, you are starting to master the art of helping with housework, right? And how this turns on the feminine, how it um, brings her, gives her more time to be with you. But you're doing it in the way that supports her femininity instead of defeminizing her and taking over the whole domain. Okay, so you've mastered that. You're figuring it out, right? And one of the things is you're asking. You're asking, okay, what do you need, baby? And then if she says, oh, just, I don't want to have to be asked. Just look around and figure out stuff. That'll make me feel better. Every woman's different, and on a certain level, you don't want to just always be asking. You do want to look around and see, oh, dishes need to be done. I'm going to do some. Or, oh, trash needs to be done. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to ask her everything. But there is a conversation, a dance that goes on about it, okay? And and what's going to start to happen is well, we know that, like, if a woman has a baby, it's a totally different world. She is so swamped all day long. She doesn't have a moment to herself. So you really do need to step it up during that time and give a lot of extra help, right? And not think of it as her work. Think of it as the family's work, right? But once the kids are grown, or you don't have kids, it's a really different scene, because then there's this gift that she wants to give you. If she's a feminine woman, let's say, she's going to want to give you these beautiful meals and the space to be in that you otherwise would never have. If you take over the decorating, for example, or the masculine one in the relationship does, it's going to be gray. It's not going to be very colorful, and it's going to be really sterile. Let's not get into that. What I wanted to talk to you about was when sexual energy enters housework, when housework becomes erotic. Okay, so after a little while of having figured out the way to enter into the housework dance together with her, you get to start, like, making it really sexy, like making comments while she's cleaning or while you're cleaning, as long as you're not pressuring in order to make sex happen during that time, which would start to freak her out, because she's be like, I gotta get these dishes done. We can't always do this when the dishes are dirty, That'll make her upset. But if you're teasing her in a way while she's doing the dishes, and she can start teasing you, and she knows that the game is, for every time that you start fooling around together, more housework's going to get done, not less. And the game is, it's how are we going to have this erotic time together and get the house clean? It's really fun and really amazing. It's like feather dusters become like, there's the feather duster. The spoons, guys, there's my paddle. I mean, depending on, the way you guys play, right? There's water all over the floor. Like, shall we dance? I don't know, but it gets to be really funny, crazy when you make housework erotic. Now, so it's a good time to tease. It's a good time to be playful. And especially if you have no agenda to actually have sex, you're using housework as erotic foreplay. Okay? Now we know that for her, there's no foreplay, what the men call foreplay, in order to get to the real play. For her, it's the foreplay is the real play. The real play, to the act. For her, that's the last little blip at the end of all the fun. And if he goes for that first, it's over fast. There's not much energy that gets to be exchanged. So you want to extend the energy, right? So that you have like a kind of simmering all day foreplay. I mean, I have seen older couples in their 70s who have this art down of how to tease each other constantly, how to hint at each other in complimentary ways, how to allude to things that are lewd and rude, and yet do it in a way that's a turn on, that's never an insult, that's never too crass. There's an art. Like, how are you going to make her feel more beautiful when she's in her scrubs and her little overalls, dealing with the compost bucket, like You're going to find a way, and it's going to be really creative, and it's going to be really, really fun. So this is the higher octave of the second, number 2 of the 88 ways to pleasure the feminine. We're in the root chakra, right? We're in the domain of the feminine's homemaking domain of like food and family and and housemaking. So there's 8 ways to pleasure her in this domain of the home. So you got the very first one I want you to really look at. That's the foundation for all 88. That has to do with putting the feminine, the heart of love at the center of everything. So that's the video I just made today. Check that one out, because that one is actually, I should have made it first. It's the foundation. And then you come to number 2, which has to do with this housework thing, becoming really erotic. Okay, honey, let's go for just like totally a life in polarity. So what you're doing is, you don't want to become the woman by doing the housework so much that in the same way as her, in the same mood and everything. Like now you got 2 women and you don't want her to enter the masculine realm where she's like so much into money and the bills and she's just a guy, you know. So it's like we all want freedom and we all want equality, of course, and maybe she's makes more money than you, or maybe you make better food than her, you know, and you're better with the kids than her. So let's just keep focused on polarity. So whatever it is, if you're the more feminine one or she is, you need to have the other person in the other polarity to create sexual energy. And I guess when I'm talking about pleasuring, a lot of the time I'm talking about building that polarity that is sparking. So it doesn't always have to go into physicality of sex, although it naturally will if it's sparking, you know, but it's that feeling of sparking that keeps things alive. And the sparks come from these friction of the 2 opposite elements. Okay, go for it, go.